It's time for the OG sad boys. So we got the main protagonist and antagonist down, now it's time for the side characters. And we're starting off strong with the most underappreciated team in the game. I'm disappointed in all of you. Team Maelstrom. If you want a review of how I do these videos, or it's your first time watching this series, you can go watch my previous videos on Crossfire and Ember Monarchs to understand the format. Now with that out of the way, time to start with the team leader, Atlas.
Let's do this.
Oh wait, hang on a second, that's the wrong line. Where did I put it? Ah, there it is.
The confluence of space and time has brought me here.
This may come as a shocker, but Atlas is another human with a skilled heritage. Yeah, big surprise. I know. Okay, but for real, Atlas has a skilled heritage because he always helped his parents with space voyages, along with knowing advanced science concepts ever since he was a young boy. For his background, I went with Tinker since he's always been surrounded by high tech and grown accustomed to making and experimenting with such innovations. And his ancestry feat is astrology because while his real profession is astrophysicist, his invention that he uses in the arena involves bending the cosmos to his will. Now for the class. This one was really easy. In fact, all of Team Maelstrom have a class that just perfectly fits them. Atlas's class is Inventor. He made a little ball of space-time powers, so not much of a surprise there. For his innovation, I chose Armor since as far as I'm aware, he made those pauldrons himself. Oh, and he also uses his abilities more for protection. And the modification in his armor is Otherworldly Protection because he uses the stars to defend himself and his allies. On to ability scores. Atlas has a +4 in intelligence because, let me just say this real quick for the people in the back. He found a way to harness time and space itself. If I could give this man a +5 at level 1, I would. Anyways, Constitution is a +3 since he has pretty high staggering game. His Strength and Wisdom are +1 because his abilities can hit pretty hard upon unsuspecting enemies. Also, his interest in Drakkar to help him adjust to Earth was a good judgment on his part, but the gut feeling that his parents are gone for sure in space does lower it down a bit. Finally, his Dex and Charisma are neutral because in-game he has no movement abilities, and Atlas honestly doesn't have the most welcoming of tones sometimes. And he startles easily if these quotes have any weight to that.
Thank you, but there remains work to be done. Pardon me. I was lost in thought.
His health pool comes to a 19, which fits quite nicely as the bulky defender for the team.
Boop. Boop. Boop.
God damn it, not again. How does this keep happening? Okay, this should be the one.
I am ready to have fun.
Finally, I get to make another non-human. So for Drakkar's race, I made him a lizard folk. Sure, he doesn't have scales, but his body proportions are similar to reptiles. For his heritage, I gave him Unseen Lizard Folk due to his Xenocloak ability that turns him invisible. Yeah, I know it's part of his equipment and isn't part of his actual biology, but it's the closest heritage that fits. As far as I'm aware, he doesn't have any frills he can use to scare enemies. For his ancestry feat, I went with Lizard Folk lore because Drakkar is well versed in his society and how it works, and... okay, it was also the only one that I could think of that fit. Why would his invasion fleet use reptiles as cavalry? And as far as I'm aware, Drakkar doesn't know how to talk to reptiles. Background is easy. I gave him the warrior background. This was the closest I could find to a soldier background, but it actually works for him since he was, and I quote, a member of militia or army. This gives him a boost in either strength or constitution. I went with constitution since he managed to survive multiple invasions against other colonies. On to class. Gee, I wonder what his class would be. There's no way it could be Gunslinger despite always having a pulse rifle on him, right? Yeah, he's a gunslinger. I mean, besides Jules and X, this was the obvious one by far. I have to be stupid to not make him one. Anyways, for his way, I chose Way of the Vanguard. His abilities are more oriented in clearing the way and forcing the core in. As for his class feat, I went with Hit the Dirt due to both evasion and his Xenocloak ability, giving him bonus move speed and invisibility to escape dangerous situations. This is also why he has a +3 in Dex. For the rest, he has a +2 in Strength and Con since, again, he fought in plenty of invasions and survived. Also, he can throw a sticky bomb quite far, which definitely equates into the equation. His Intelligence and Wisdom are +1 due to his reliance on tactics, which makes me think he was possibly a tacticianist in his army, and he's quite aware of how the humans on Earth feel about him. And his Charisma is neutral due to the intimidating figure, along with the xenophobia he experiences. His health pool comes to an 18, which fits him quite well as the close quarters shooter.
I can still fight.
For fuck's sake, a third time? You know what? Forget it. I'm just moving on to the character sheet. And the fun of making a non-human character has swiftly been taken away from me because guess what? Rune is another human. Yippee! Anyways, he gains the versatile heritage due to the amount of deeds he's committed for Obscura. The feat he gains from it is schooled in secrets because he studied forbidden rituals with Sigil before the incident. And for his ancestry feat, I gave him arcane tattoos because, yeah, those definitely look like tattoos. Anyways, for his background, I gave him Cursed because he quite literally is. He's cursed by Obscura to commit acts in order to bring Sigil back home. This gives him an increase in either intelligence or charisma. I chose intelligence due to his record as a top student and ability to study the rituals. On to his class. He's a witch. No, not this kind of witch. The witch class in Pathfinder is more like the warlock class in D&D, but revolves around a familiar. And I don't know about you, but that shadowy doppelganger of him is a lot like a familiar. For his patron, I chose the Starless Shadow due to the mentions of Power of Darkness, and Obscura is the realm of darkness in the Omega Strikers universe. For his Hex spell, I chose Faith Familiar since he never really uses the doppelganger in the arena. For his arcane tattoo, I chose Chill Touch in reference to his ultimate Burning Stagger and banishing enemies. Finally, his ability scores. He has a +4 intelligence because of his studies in class and rituals, along with his love in documentaries. His strength is a +2 because, god damn, have you seen the muscles on this guy? Amazing what warlock deeds could do to one's body. His Constitution, Wisdom, and Dexterity are all +1. Constitution due to his will to resist Obscura's corruption, Wisdom due to his understanding of the consequences in the Pact, and Dex due to his warp. His Charisma is neutral since he doesn't want to rely on others to help in his situation. This leaves his HP to 15, which works fine due to his average stagger. And Team Maelstrom is complete. We have reached the halfway point in this series. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am and hold out till the end. Next up is Team SSR, so be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to know when I do upload the next video in this series. Also comment what you think would fit better for the characters that I mentioned here. And until next time, keep on striking.